أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله ومن والاه وبعد اللهم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings, peace be upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his household, his companions, and all those who follow him until the day of judgment. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we are with part 6 of our book of the fasting according to the madhab al-hanafi. Yesterday we talked about the acts that do not nullify the fasting. And today, inshallah, we'll talk about Babun ma yufsidu as-sawma wa tajibu bihi al-kafaratu ma al-qada. Imam rahimahullah says, which means what nullifies the fast requires expiation and a make-up day. And there are several actions that if performed during the day of Ramadan results in the nullification of the fast, a make-up qada, or some says qaza, make-up day, an obligatory expiation in order to atone for the major violation. And the expiation consists of the freeing a sound slave, though if one does not have the means to do this, then he must fast 2 consecutive months for 60 days at once. And if someone is unable to do so, then the expiation is to feed 60 persons twice, 2 meals every day, 60 people. In the event that the expiation is not performed, then it remains as an unperformed obligation upon the person concerned. So, what nullifies the fast? قال الإمام رحمه الله وهو 22 شيئا إذا فعل الصائم شيئا منها طائعا متعمدا غير مضطر لازمه القضاء والكفارة وهي. The Imam says rahimahullah, yesterday we mentioned 24 things that do not nullify or do not break the fast. Today 22 things. There are 22 things which if performed willingly, here is an important thing, willingly and intentionally, without being compelled, the result in the termination of the fast and requires a compulsory make-up day and expiation to atone for the violation. So intentionally and willingly actions, if performed, there are 22 of them. If performed one of these, the someone must do qada and kafara, make up day and expiation. They are al-jima'u في أحد السبيلين على الفاعل والمفعول به. Having sexual intercourse, in this case husband and wife, breaks the fast of both the doer and the receiver of the act and makes them liable for expiation and qada, to make up day. So this is due to the compulsion of offense. The ruling is the same whether one has an orgasm or not, because in this case sensual desire is satisfied even without it. So if someone did it, sexual intercourse between wife and husband during the daylight of the month, in the month of Ramadan, al-fa'il wal-maf'ul bihi, both of them are required. If is one of them forced, either male or female or wife or husband, the one who forcing is obliged to make qada and kafara, and the second one is not, is only doing qada. But if she or he is doing after the force willingly, so then requires al-qada wal-kafara together. الأكل والشرب سواء فيه ما يتغذى به أو يتداوى به. Imam says eating or drinking, all of these are, of course, willingly and intentionally, whether it is for nourishment or for medical benefit. Either case breaks the fast and necessitates expiation and make-up day. ابتلاع مطر دخل إلى فمه. To swallow rain, water, after it enters the mouth, breaks the fast. If you do it in terms of the rain is coming and you're intentionally swallowing the rain water, so breaks the fast, and expiation and qada, make-up day, are required. Same thing for the snow, when it's snowing. So if it goes in the mouth and you swallow it intentionally, knowingly, then it requires expiation and make-up day. القضاء والكفارة. وأكل اللحم الني وإن كان منتنا إلا إذا دود or دول. Eating raw meat, even if it is damaged, require expiation and make-up day. Through if the meat is warmed, infested, it does not necessitate expiation for the reason that there are no nutrients left in the meat of which benefit is derived. So there's eating meat, the raw meat or damaged meat, expired meat, that is that kind of the meat. The person, if eats these two kind of the meats, just the red meat, the raw meat, and damaged, requires qada wal kafara. But if the meat, there is a worm in it, and someone eats, it does not make expiation. That we'll talk about that. Kafara, we'll talk about that inshallah later on. But qada is a necessity to be there, but not kafara. وأكل الشحم في اختيار الفقيه بالليث الحنفي. Eating the fat or grease of meat nullifies the fast and requires expiation and qada, both of them. And this is the view according to Imam al-Layth al-Hanafi rahimahullah. وقديد اللحم باتفاق, as Imam says rahimahullah, eating the jerked or cured meat breaks the fast and necessitates the plenty of expiation and qada. Necessitates the penalty. The penalty is kafara wal qada, expiation and make-up day, and this has the agreement of the Hanafi school. Another thing is أكل حنطة وقضمها إلا أن يمضغ قمحه فتلاشت. Eating a seed of wheat or chewing it and then eating it breaks fast and makes one liable for expiation and make-up day. If you do remember what the last time we talked about, if someone has found something behind his teeth, or it has small seed in his mouth and he chew it until completely disappeared, and even is swallowed, that will not nullify the fast. But here, eating the seed of wheat intentionally and chewing it and then eating it, so it will go to the stomach. Whatever comes from the mouth, it goes to the stomach, goes to the brain. So the break is broken. So then we have to do expiation, the kafara, and the qada, the make-up day. Except if the seed is chewed and consequently melt away. So basically leaving no trace in the throat. So even if you swallow, nothing will affect, and in which case the fast does not break and no expiation is necessary. So that is different. ابتلاع حبة الحنطة أو سمسمة أو نحوها من خارج فمه في المختار. If one swallows a seed of wheat, sesame, or something of the like, things from outside the mouth, meaning basically they were not stuck between one's teeth, as you mentioned before, and were put in the mouth and swallowed. The fast breaks and one is liable for expiation and make up this. So if outside from the outside goes to the mouth and goes down, so it will nullify our fast. And this is preferred view of the Hanafi school. وأكل الطين الأرمني المطلق. This is interesting thing. Eating a beneficial type of soil known as the Armani from Armenia nullifies the fast absolutely and necessitates expiation and qada. And it does not matter whether one is in the habit of eating or not. So this type of earth, the Tinul Armani, known as the Armani, soil Armani, is known to contain some medical benefit in it, and they mix it with the food, and the commonly was consumed by the pregnant woman to gain some benefit, and based on this benefit, the expiation is necessary. So that is interesting thing. And then Imam said, والطين غير الأرمني كالطفل إن اعتاد أكله. Eating soil that is non-beneficial, such as dry earth, known as the tifl, nullifies the fast and necessitates expiation, provided one in the habit of eating. If it's habit of eating, so then yeah, there is expiation and qada. But if someone is not his habit to eat this kind of soil, then the expiation is not required, only qada. والملح القليل في المختار. الله أكبر. Eating a small amount of salt nullifies the fast and imposes expiation and qada. Little bit of the salt, because there is a little bit of the salt, there is a benefit, which is different if someone take or swallow a lot of the salt. The ruling changes. In that case, the fast breaks, but the expiation is not imposed, because the tendency of man is to veer towards having a small amount of salt, not a large one. A large one is not pleasant at all, but the small one is a small amount of the salt is pleasant, like the one of big amount is not. وابتلاع بزاق زوجته أو صديقه لا غيرهما. Swallowing the saliva of the one's wife or friends breaks the fast, and atonement is to be observed through expiation, kafara. The reason behind that one is not repulsed from the saliva of his wife or friend. Though if one swallows saliva from other than his wife or friend, then the expiation is not required, because in this case it is detested by the one who swallows. It's yeah, so not enjoying. So, but the first case of his wife or husband, so then yeah, the rule is different. And وأكله عمدا بعد غيبة أو بعد حجامة أو بعد مس أو قبلة بالشهوة أو بعد مضاجع من غير إنزال. Basically, which means Imam says, rahimahullah, if a person intentionally eats after unconsciousness, he fell down unconscious and then woke up and just start to eat, or eats after being subjected to cupping, the hijama. We said the hijama, which is cupping, taking blood from the body, does not break the fast, according to the Hanafi rulings. And that's the same thing, rule if you take blood and give it to analysis for the medical reasons. So all this does not, or taking the insulin or the asthma pump. So all these do not nullify the fasting. But if somebody drinks water after capping intentionally, so then of course qada wal kafara is required. Or after touching his wife, without feeling the orgasm, still nullifies and is need kafara. Or after kissing with desire, or after sleeping near his wife, touching and kissing her, playing without ejaculating, or after applying oil on his mustache because he believes that such act, such as unconsciousness and cupping, have terminated his fast, then he is liable for expiation and to make up a day. The expiation, however, which excuses the expiation, is if he is given a legal ruling by the scholar different than his school, who said that such act do break the fast, such as capping, which some of the people of hadith regard as that say that breaks the fast. That is different madhab, and this was his understanding. In which case, he is not liable for expiation because, according to the offender, he believed he had broken the fast after capping and falling unconscious, and so went ahead and ate based on that ruling, based on the ruling given. And the other expiation is if he had heard the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, but did not understand its meaning according to the madhab, as Imam madhab, as school Hanafi school explains it. Such the one who fall unconscious has broken his fast, for example. So he progressed forward and ate based on what he understood, not knowing the meaning given by the madhab, which said in the interpretation, this hadith in the madhab al-Hanafi that we are in says that only do not break the fast. It only decrease the reward of fasting, but not like other method says it's broken. So then in both cases, the expiation is excused. So he needs only to do qada in these two cases. Though if there was no such ruling issued or one did not know the meaning of the hadith according to the madhab, the expiation is necessary to perform. And whatever the case may be, one is still liable to make up the day. In summary, that to mention all these, if a person intentionally eats after the above mentioned acts, then he is liable for expiation and qada, unless an Islamic scholar, a faqih, a mufti, issued a ruling, or the person did not know the correct meaning of a hadith he had heard according to the madhab, in this case madhab al-Hanafi. That should be clear for all of us. Intentionally, any act intentionally did through the month of the Ramadan, there is a qada, there is a kafara, and that's how we do it. And lastly, Imam says, when عرف تأويله وجب عليه الكفار. If, however, the person knows the meaning of the hadith he heard according to the madhab, he is liable for expiation as well. وتجب الكفارة على من طاوعت رجل مكرها على وطئها. Expiation or kafar is wajib upon a female or a male who willingly comply to have sexual intercourse with her husband or with his wife, who was forced to have intercourse with her or with him. That is how we can say. Consider the following situation. If husband is somehow offense on his wife and he forcibly have intercourse with his wife, then he is the one who is forcing her has to do qada and kafar, and she doing only qada. But if she is doing willingly with him, then both of them do qada wal kafara. Same the opposite case is as we said. So as long as there is willingness, so there is a kafara and there is a qada, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us and to be with us and have mercy upon us in this month of Ramadan, and to help us to reach it and to reach the goal of the Ramadan and the reward of it. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Wassalamu Allahi alaykum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. And inshallah, we see you soon. We will talk about another subject, that فصل في كفارة وما يسقطها عن الذمة, the expiation and that which excuses it. We'll talk about that inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of you and to guide all of us to the straight path. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.